I'm gonna level with y'all right off the bat. 9 times out of 10 when I whip up a meaty, cheesy, chopped patty melt layered with caramelized onions, it's 11:30 at night, I've had 3 too many glasses of sparkling rosé, and I'm blasting throwback emo tunes from 2002. The classic greasy spoon recipe for the sandwich is a one-pan meal, simply melting savory ground beef with sweet chopped onions and gooey American cheese, all piled high on toasted white bread, but its flavor profile can be easily tweaked to suit whatever you happen to be craving. First, let's cover the basic recipe though. Start by dicing a small onion into medium-sized pieces, then preheat a large pan over a medium flame. Add 1 tablespoon of butter, followed by your onions, and cook stirring occasionally until they develop some browning, but very importantly are still crisp. The onion's texture and flavor are an integral part of this sandwich, almost even more so than the beef. Because we're using medium heat instead of low, the onions will probably threaten to burn before they brown during this step. We can mitigate the issue by pouring in 2 tablespoons of water to deglaze the pan as needed, allowing us to cook at this higher temperature and develop browning much more quickly than we otherwise would. You can actually speed up the caramelization process even further by raising the pH of the onions with a small pinch of baking soda. This creates a basic environment, which browning reactions love, but the onions will come out much softer because the glue that holds their cells together, pectin, breaks down rapidly in basic environments. It's not what we want for this recipe, but certainly something to keep in mind for your future onion cooking endeavors. Once finished, transfer your onions to a dish, wipe out your pan if necessary, and it's time to move on to our beef. Now, cooking ground meat isn't rocket science, but I do have a quick tip that'll help you to develop a nice browned crust without overcooking it into gross grainy pebbles. Preheat your pan over a medium-high flame, then add a tablespoon of neutral oil, followed by 1/2 pound of ground beef, using a spatula to spread it out into one even layer. We're going to cook the beef about 80% of the way through without stirring or touching it at all. Seriously, don't touch it. This allows a deep, delicious brown crust to develop on the bottom layer, while the top layer slowly heats through and avoids overcooking. Once you see that browned crust creeping up the sides of the beef, turn the heat all the way down, flip and chop your meat into small pieces, seasoning with a small pinch of salt and a few cranks of black pepper. The residual heat in the pan will easily cook that top layer through in just 30 seconds to a minute. While the meat finishes cooking, add your onions back in and throw 2 or 3 slices of American cheese on top, stirring until the whole mixture turns into this ooey gooey deliciousness. Then just scoop it onto some toasted white bread. I like to put mayo on both sides and grill it in my pan using low heat when I'm feeling extra indulgent, but the sandwich doesn't need another sauce because the cheese and beef have plenty of fat already. This thing is absolutely mouth-watering, but certainly a sometimes food, as the new age cookie monster would say. Once you master the basic chopped patty melt, you can pretty much make an infinite number of variations. For example, toss some ready-made taco seasoning mix into the beef while it's cooking, fold in some diced tomatoes, and line your bread with slaw or lettuce for a Suburban Tex Mex style sandwich. Or you can swap out the beef for any other chopped meat. I like to make a play on a traditional Chile Verde by making a patty melt with ground chicken, roasted hatch chilies, cilantro, lime juice, and Oaxaca cheese, served on some toasted ciabatta with raw sliced onion for a little extra bite. Heck, you don't even need to put it on bread if you don't wanna. Sometimes I'll toss a heaping scoop of Harissa into the ground beef mixture along with some jack cheese, then scoop it into little lettuce cups and top them with garlicky lemon yogurt sauce, some chopped fresh mint, and pistachios for a little extra crunch. And I know, that totally doesn't count as a patty melt, but I had to wring some content out of the extra ground beef I had left over after making the video. Anyway, please consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video. It really helps out small YouTubers like me, and I would really appreciate it. Until next time, later nerds.